Chapter 20, August 1st. I missed you at the schoolhouse. Dove bit into a mayonnaise sandwich and washed it down with root beer. She sat on the back porch step, wearing a fuchsia muumuu and her brown boots. You got Melba. Ruby lay in the porch swing, swinging herself by sticking one bare foot on the porch and pushing off sideways whenever she slowed to a stop. I might melt, it's so hot. Ivy, Bess, and Rosebud scratched the dirt in the chicken yard, looking for bugs. Beamy nested and crackled from inside the greenhouse. The broken window was open to the sky. Ruby's mother had put a screen in the window frame. Dove's mind was on the operetta. You should come tonight and watch. Everybody's coming. It's going to be good. Melba has a solo. Ruby rolled her eyes. I bet you filled up tens of those astrophological tapes listening to her yap. Anthropological. Dove drank the last of her root beer. She talks about her daddy a lot. Ruby sat up. What did she tell you? She tells stories. She told a story about how he used to take her out all by himself, just the two of them, to stargaze in the summers. He taught her all the constellations. She can spot Orion's belt and Scorpion's tail and the twins. A tiny shiver skittered up Ruby's spine. She closed her eyes and pulled a vision of Grandpa Garnet to mind, their firefly poem and their nights with Miss Ula in the back meadow under the stars. She showed me where the car went off the bridge. Ruby's eyes flew open. She did? Well, I never go there. Is that why you always take the long way to town? Ruby pushed off her toes, and the swing began. It's back and forth again. Yes, she said quietly. That's why I go the long way. She stared at a mud dauber nest on the porch ceiling as she tried not to think about them. Memories of last summer began to lay on her like a blanket of hot air. She covered her face with her hands and breathed between her fingers. She saw her grandfather standing on the Lake Jasper Bridge, waving to her. She rubbed her face and shook her head to clear it, and saw Dove looking at her. She gave a little laugh. I don't even know where the car went off the bridge. Dove spoke carefully. I can show you. Ruby studied the hair on her arms. I don't want to know. There was silence then, except for the crackles from the greenhouse. Ruby watched her chickens. She looked at the mass of black-eyed Susans growing next to the chicken yard gate. Miss Ula's words came to her floating on the breeze and pushing the hot air away. Just a remembrance to mark the fact that Garnet was in this world, and that the world was a good place because he was here. Maybe I do want to know, Ruby muttered. Dove stood and brushed sandwich crumbs off the front of her muumuu. Come on, then. Ruby looked at her bare feet. She spread her toes out as far as she could go. They looked like little fans. I'll go with you, said Dove. Ruby's eyes met Dove's. She gave a determined boost and pushed herself off the swing. The chain jingled, and she took 2 hats from the hat pegs by the door and gave one to Dove. Just a minute, she said. There's something I need. She went inside the pink house and came back with some scissors. She clipped a bunch of black-eyed Susans and tied them with a piece of twine from her pocket. Then she said to Dove, All right, let's go. Who are the flowers for? They're for me, said Ruby. The girl set off, turning left on the road towards town.